What's going on, everybody? Give me a second to send these notifications out and we'll get things going. Live. Am I coming in? Yep. Looks like you can hear me. Right. Send a Discord notification. Good to go ahead and get started. What's happening, Will? I can't complain too much. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Hey, that's what's up. New beginnings are always exciting. I hope things work out well for you in your new state with your new job and all.
Gotta check out the party at ESU.
Oh yeah, I remember. When I ended last stream, I was right at the Halloween party part of it. Because I thought, oh, that's going to be a good bit to start on.
Halloween party. Guess I don't have to change. Delaney's dressed as one of my greatest foes. Let's find out which one.
Yeah, we can do that.
Why you guys gotta be so nasty?
I'm just trying to. Everyone's in costume. My people.
Now there's a guy who puts in the effort.
Job offer in Delaware came through.
Hey, look at us! The Spider Bros!
Excuse me, are you Dr. Delaney?
Spider-Man, my nemesis. You won't catch me this time.
Hey, I'm glad to hear you've been enjoying the videos. I got a new one that should be coming out well, yeah, this Friday, next Friday. It's going to be about the Avengers game and about it getting delisted.
Now I have you.
Hey, what's wrong with you? I worked on that helmet for a week.
I need to find Dr. Delaney.
He's out in the party somewhere. Who are you?
I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Smart ass. Okay.
I really can't wait for people to see it. I'm working on about 3 videos altogether. One video is going to be on Avengers, like I mentioned. That'll be the one that comes out soonest. And the one that comes out after that is going to be about Marvel mobile games, Strike Force, Contest of Champions, and Future Fight.
There he is. The lizard in the lab coat.
A lot of weird connecting threads between Future Fight, all of the mobile games, and basically Marvel's Avengers, Star Wars Battlefront 2 of all games, and the Suicide Squad delays. Basically, there's a lot of connecting reasons that are very similar and aligned for, like, if you wanted to know why comic games suck, that's the overall goal of, like, 3 or 4 videos that I'm working on, is to, like, explain why they suck. Hey, what's happening, Alec? Nice to see you here.
What the hell? Oh, snap!
Oh my gosh!
What do you want? Take it easy. Just tell me what you want.
This is a joke, right? Those aren't real guns.
My hopes for Beyond the Spider-Verse? I don't know. I'm just open to whatever they could possibly do with it. I was sold on Across the Spider-Verse. I loved it. I love the Spider-Verse movies a lot. They're really good. It'd be nice to see Spectacular Spider-Man get more than, like, just a one-line cameo. It would be nice, but maybe seeing the MCU spiders in it. Honestly, I doubt we'll see it, right? But it'd be cool to see some Venom stuff. Like, I loved the Venom cameo in Across the Spider-Verse. I didn't expect that at all. Honestly, all the ways they connected with, like, the live action stuff was really interesting to me. I'd like to see more live action crossovers in general, wouldn't it?
Good. Happy Halloween.
I know, right? I'm always so surprised too. I appreciate that. But yeah, like, it does look amazing. I'm so happy with it.
And where'd they take Delaney?
Oh, I know. I haven't bought any Marvel Legends figures in a year. I'm really tempted by Franklin Richards and Valeria Richards. The new Andrew Maguire is really tempting. I like the new Tom Holland too, honestly. I definitely don't want any, well, I do kind of want more MCU figures, but I want to get the MCU She-Hulk at some point. Trying to think about who else I've been kind of interested in getting. Because I've been looking at them. I haven't bought any in over a year since I got the HasLabs Galactus, but I'm curious. I'm very curious. What they're doing with the figures now, even though they're still, like, stuck on the $25 price point, like, I can deal with paying $25 for a figure, but paying $30 for a figure is frustrating as hell. And that was the main reason I was out, and I stopped buying them for a little bit. Like, $30 for the Marvel, the PS5 Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2. That was so frustrating. And then the Venom Null 2-pack. I still really want that Venom with the wings, but I don't give a shit about Null. I do not want Null.
Show's over, Lee.
But you have to get Null if you want Venom with the wings, so. How'll they get you?
Apparently the show's not over.
In cutscenes especially, like I've been sitting here clipping clips right and left as I stream. That way I can edit them into videos. Like you're gonna see a couple in the Avengers video that comes out next week, and then a few more in the mobile games video. But really, I can't imagine myself not using all of the clips that I've gotten. Like just pulling them from cutscenes and stuff and being able to use stuff out of context. Like if I could switch out the Rhino with an Among Us model, right? And have the Among Us model beating the shit out of me. I could like write a joke about like something in a video about me like, you know, getting shit on Twitter, and then I could have the Among Us model like beating me up to like visualize that. Like I always tell people, if you want to make YouTube videos, learn how to make memes first and like practice video editing by making memes, because even if you don't think you're funny, like I don't think I'm funny at all, but I know how to make a humorous edit from time to time. Like there's kind of a language to editing, and if you learn how to make memes, like one of my favorite YouTubers, Imp Lemon, he made YouTube poops, which are like these really like absurdist, like it's hard to explain what YouTube is if you don't know what it is, but they're weird edits of videos that are kind of like memey, right? And but he made those before he became a YouTuber, and they kind of informed his sense of humor and informed his video editing style, and because of that he has a really unique video editing style. But that's kind of what I mean by like repurposing like clips from cutscenes. Like I'm thinking about like what mods are on Mod Nexus that I can switch out and turn the thugs and characters around in. Like I changed out the thugs with Paul from the recent run of Spider-Man, and like the main reason for that is literally just because it's like such a meme that like, you know, Spider-Man fans hate Paul. So if you see Paul, someone might be inclined to chat like, oh fuck Paul, and then you know I'm beating the shit out of Paul. So hey, I appreciate that, Alec. Your reward for saving the world in game. Let's get that counter started. I appreciate that. I hope the counter is working. I've had problems with it in the past, with it not like ticking and counting things. But I'll check on that in a little bit. If it's not, I really hope it is. But I appreciate that. Thank you. That's really kind of you. What's my dream Marvel film? I don't know. I don't know really. Like that's hard to say, because like honestly, I'm not that much of a Marvel person. I'm more of a DC person. Like you ask me what I want to see from DC, the answer is like instantly I want to see Justice League International. I want to see a Dead Man movie. Guillermo del Toro directing a Dead Man movie. Hey, there it is. The notification's going off like way late, but it is going off, so that's cool. Pizza time, motherfucker.
Yuri, I need your help.
I've got reports of shots fired at ESU.
Right now, we need to find Dr. Morgan Michaels. Martin Lee's coming after him.
Copy that. Spider-Man, who is this Dr. Michaels?
I think he's the head scientist on this Devil's Breath project. Did you find him?
Yes and no. Sable says they have him under protection at a safe house somewhere in the city.
What's
But they didn't
that?
tell me where.
That's not
I thought
supposed
you
to
guys were
happen.
working together.
So did I.
Okay, I have an idea on how to find him. I'll let you know if it works.
Small perks of modding the hell out of the game. It's just completely broken sometimes. What are my thoughts on Superman Legacy? Oh my god, I'm so excited. When the Suicide Squad came out, I told a friend, I don't give a fuck about James Gunn's other movies. His superhero movies are too good. I want him to make nothing but superhero movies for the rest of his fucking life. And you know what? I got my fucking wish. The Suicide Squad was fucking amazing. Guardians 3, fucking amazing. Guardians 2, Guardians 1, fucking amazing. Brightburn, it's mid, but it had promise and potential, and he didn't direct that one, he just produced it. So, but if we got Brightburn quality movies from all of DC, I would be so happy. That would be like the absolute best to me. even if like what I mean like Brightburn, it's like it would at least be better than MCU stuff, than modern MCU stuff. But I think he'll do better than that. I think like he hasn't made a single bad superhero movie yet, or really a bad movie in general. Like if you've ever seen Super, his movie with Elliot Page and the dude that played Dwight in The Office, I forget his name, but it's a really good movie, and he made that before Guardians, like before he was really famous for anything. It's basically like the James Gunn version of Kick-Ass. But I think he's the perfect person to do Superman. He's the perfect person to be the Kevin Feige of DC comic books. I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be more excited. And what I said about if I could get a DC thing, I would pick Justice League International.
Okay,
I think we're gonna get it.
into Norman's office.
And it's literally because like if you look at
some security
the
systems.
end of Zack
They
Snyder's
see,
Justice
they'll
League,
put the whole
right?
place on lockdown.
You see Martian Manhunter. And we know that Booster Gold is getting a TV show. Blue Beetle just had his own movie. And they
should be able to hack
teased
into
Ted
the security
Cord
network
being
modules from the
alive at
outside.
the end of that movie in the after credits, right? So I think that all the pieces are falling into place for Justice League International. And I think that either James Gunn's new continuity is going to be like Earth 2, or it is going to be another soft reboot of the like DC movie universe we already have. But I don't think that's the case. I think it'll be like an alternate Earth 2 type thing. They'll probably explain it like in 10 years in a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie. But it's not something we're going to get answers to for a while. But we know that certain people and characters are staying, like Amanda Waller. I think we'll get a new Flash and a new Wonder Woman. But I think that like they will make like a Wonder Woman 3 set in the original continuity after or right before they make a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie. And you know, just like there was Earth 2 and Earth 1 in the comic books,
Like there's 4 of
it'll
these
be
around
like
the
that in whatchamacallit. Just like there was Earth 1 and Earth 2 in the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. The original DC universe and the new one are going to be like the two main ones at the center of whatever movie Crisis on Infinite Earths they make.
Copy that. Keep an eye on the exterior while we try to track down the issue.
Just when I thought it would be easy.
All Sable teams. Looks like we have some sort of software problem. We're calling in a specialist. Copy that. Continuing exterior sweep.
There's the second module.
What? All agents. Someone's taking control of one of our subsystems.
Have I seen My Adventures with Superman? I haven't seen it.
Everybody's got drones
But
these days.
I've seen like the first. I haven't finished it. I mean, I've seen like the first 3 or 4 episodes. I saw the last episode. I saw Lois interviewed Superman.
Target spotted. It's Spider-Man.
Ah, god damn it! I feel you, Alec. I appreciate you stopping in one way or another.
I need a status report. Exterior sweep negative. We are all clear. Still look like a software issue? Attention all Sable team. Damn it. Another subsystem is going offline. I need a team to scan the 85th floor exterior. Copy control. Bird inbound.
I think Swamp Thing is one of the ones that I'm really curious about.
Gotta move. Hi, MJ.
Swamp
busy
Thing,
right now.
Booster Gold, and Superman
Listen, I got a lead on
are
Charles
the ones I'm the
Dancers's
most
location.
excited for.
I think if I can get to him, I can make
And
a
Grant
talk.
Morrison's run on Batman is my all-time favorite run.
Morgan Michaels as well.
I didn't
Okay.
like Flash. The fact
Don't
that
do
the
anything
Flash director is on Brave and the Bold
Making it crazy.
doesn't
Gotta find that last module.
fill me with confidence. But Flash was just good enough that I think that at the very least we'll get a passable movie, if nothing else. Oh, shit.
Target spotted. It's
God
Spider-Man.
damn it. My controller got unplugged and that was fun.
Gotta move. Hi, MJ. A little busy right now.
I'll be quick. Listen, I got a lead on Charles Standish's location. I think if I can get to him, I can make him talk. He knew about Dr. Delaney. He probably knows about Morgan Michaels as well.
Okay, just don't do anything crazy. Speaking of crazy, gotta find that last module.
What? Okay. What am I missing? Oh, it's like here.
There's the last one.
Of course it's in the middle of the O. I realized that. Intrigued, nervous about Spider-Man 4?
Nice.
Yeah, you mean like the
Now I can
MCU
get
one?
into Norman's office and hopefully find out more about Morgan Michaels.
Yeah, I'm
and
50-50
Devil's
on it.
Breath.
I think they should do Venom and Black Cat.
Should we go on lockdown?
Venom, Black Cat, throw in a random ass bad guy, or maybe a couple of mobsters, right? Maybe
knew
like
what a
Scorpion
spider
and Shocker and a couple of like not quite Sinister Sixes, but like, you know, a formidable team of like mobsters that want to take down Spider-Man and Black Cat for whatever reason. But I really wish it would be a Spider-Man Black Cat movie. But so far the only thing we know about it is that Spider-Man's in it and Mary Jane's in it again, so they're probably gonna like immediately undo her forgetting Peter. Like within the first 30 minutes of the movie, I bet.
Is Norman talking to
Bonus points if she remembered him off screen.
What are you talking about?
And they just don't address it in the movie. Because they really do that shit in Marvel movies all the time. Alright, what am I missing?
Jackpot. GR-27. Dr. Morgan Michaels is the chief scientist, but the location of the lab is redacted.
I wonder if he was in this because
Maybe I control
Morbius was
CRISPR.
going to come out. Or if we're actually going to
That
see him
actually
become
works.
Morbius in the
It could
Spider-Man
cure
2.
any genetic disease. Cystic fibrosis, Huntington's. This is crazy.
Creepy.
Whoa. GR-27 is Devil's Breath. It's designed to cure diseases, but in its current form, it's like a bioweapon. Dr. Michaels keeps the only sample with him at all times. That's why Lee wants
I love
it.
how he just finds a
We find Michaels, we
PowerPoint
find Devil's
with
Breath.
all the information he needs to know in it. Like, I mean, I know it's a video game about a guy with spider powers, but it's like knowing how corporate structures work and like files and how they structure things. Like, you would not have a PowerPoint that just explains the conspiracy theory like in a PowerPoint.
Is everything a joke to you?
What? MJ, no, I screwed up. It was a
Like,
tension
villains
breaker.
do not monologue their master plan.
You know, this is
They whisper
exactly
it
why we broke up.
they whisper
I
it
thought
to
we
each
broke
other
up so you could
when they're
focus on
dancing
your
around
career.
naked in the
We
forest.
broke up because you wouldn't stop treating me like a baby. Don't do
That'll
this,
make
MJ.
more
Don't
sense
do that,
later,
MJ.
but that probably
That's
sounds completely
dangerous,
fucking
MJ.
insane right
I may
now.
not have super spider powers, but I'm not made out of glass.
You snuck into the middle of an armed military. You know what? Can we not do this right now? Please?
My dream
Did you learn
suit for
anything about
Spider-Man
Dr.
2?
Michaels?
I already got my dream suit in the first game, to be honest with you. So this is my all-time favorite Spider-Man costume. If I can find it. This one. The Spider Armor MK3, the big time suit. Or one of the big time suits from Slot's run. I think this is like the perfect spider suit for like an Avenger tier Spider-Man. Like a lot of people think like, okay, this is what Spider-Man's in-game suit should be, right? Like this is his last suit. This is like the best Spider-Man. And I'm like, no, it should be this. It should be like some armor, maybe a little bit less armor than he has here, but it should be like a helmet and like, you know, it shouldn't be full spider armor, right? Well, it shouldn't be full spider armor, but it should be like added on to what he already carries, you know? It shouldn't just be, you know, the default normal Spider-Man.
Michaels is in the Bowery somewhere.
What's happening, Brucey?
Sable's moving him tomorrow at noon.
Awesome.
Now for Venom, though? Like, I'm really
Saying
hoping
something
we get
about
to play as
Venom
Venom, and I'm
before I
hoping
jumped
that
in?
Venom has some costumes. Because I'd want to play as movie Venom. I think I used to have, or I still have on my computer somewhere, but not installed right now, a mod skin that lets you play as movie Venom in Spider-Man
Man,
PS4.
Gotta blow off some steam on patrol.
But yeah, like, I'm trying to think of what else I would want to play. Ultimate Venom would be a cool skin, and then Venom with the wings. Even if you can't fly, well, I mean, I guess you would be able to, kind of. If you could play as Venom. I don't know how they would do that, honestly. But I'm curious. It's another pigeon.
Responsibility to catch that pigeon.
Yep, it's a pigeon.
I can't believe I said that.
I'm not gonna lie, I hated the pigeon little mini missions at first, but now I kind of love them.
Looks like Doc checked in.
Peter, I've had an epiphany. It's all about the
Sleep it off.
mind. Take me, for example. A mind of unlimited potential, shackled to a tired, old body. Think of what that mind could achieve if it were freed. In developing our neural interface, we need to think beyond replicating the tired putterings of our physical forms. Instead, reach into imagination and possibility.
And I thought I was sounding crazy before. Ox going off, though.
I've never heard Doc this excited by a project. Hope he's not too excited.
He's not excited. He's having like a manic breakdown, my dude. Ock needs help. You're not recognizing that, and that's why he's gonna turn into a supervillain. Is that the last one? Yeah, I think that was
Demons
the
are
last
down.
one.
I'll let you take it from here, officers. I bet you guys get great reception up here. Boy, they really didn't want me going in. Which means I'm going in.
Yeah, this is Spider-Man PS4 on PC, and I've got a mod for my VTuber skin on it. And then I'm using, I think, the Spider-Gwen web animations. So, like, it does, like, her movements when you do, like, let me see, this, and you do the leap off. Yeah, like, it does that from, I think, Across the Spider-Verse. I'm probably going to try some of the different swinging mods over the next couple of weeks as I play it. But I've got a couple of mods in the game right now. What's a hot take I have about DC Comics? The way that DC reboots every like 5 years, sometimes it's better than others. I didn't like Flashpoint. I don't like big reboots, but little things like Superboy Prime punches reality in the face, and now Jason Todd is back alive, and a bunch of characters that were dead are suddenly alive again. Or like inexplicably for no reason, and people's memories are just altered. I like that. I think that's a good like way of explaining the weirdness of comics, right? Like Superman met JFK, Reagan, and Obama, right? None of that makes any sense. Oh yeah, and at some point, Lex Luthor was president too. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Depends on the writer, depends on the day of the week. But that's what I love about, you know, comic books. It's all kind of subjective, right? But with Marvel, it's a lot more matter of fact, right? Everyone is like, okay, well this happened, blah, blah, blah. And the closest thing you get to an explanation for why things are weird like the one that I just gave you about, like, you know, things rebooting, and that kind of explains like why Joker or Clayface was in jail in one comic and then wasn't in jail the next, or why Killer Croc was a good guy in one comic, a bad guy when he showed up in Nightwing, and then a couple months later he shows up in Catwoman and he's a good guy again, right? Like, but that explains the inconsistencies in comics. Someone time traveled. They do the same thing in Doctor Who. It's the butterfly effect. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Booster Gold went back in time and ate a nacho he wasn't supposed to eat, and now all of a sudden Killer Croc is bad again until the next writer comes along and makes him good again, which happened because, you know, Booster Gold went back in time, and this time instead of eating the nacho he ate, you know, a piece of pizza instead. Who fucking knows? Who cares? But, like, I like that DC doesn't make sense. I like that it's more subjective. The closest thing you get to that in Marvel is people have a theory, and it's just a theory, that the reason that everyone stays young, like the reason that Peter Parker met Obama and Captain America met Reagan and met JFK, like what explains these characters staying in their 30s for over 40 years now is the fact that Franklin Richards is keeping everyone young. So now in the last few years, you've had 3 Hellfire Galas back to back to back.
On it.
And that means that 3 years has passed in the Marvel Universe for the first time ever. And that's not something they can keep up with. They can't keep aging people up a year every single year because it's just not realistic to the way that comic book stories are told. So, and but what I'm saying is that things are better when they're more subjective and you can kind of make your own interpretations of them. And that's what I like the best about DC Comics compared to Marvel. With Marvel, things are much more objective. Marvel feels like it has to explain everything, and DC is like, I don't know, it's fucking comic books, who gives a shit?
Okay, looks like I could optimize this power relay.
And if you're a writer, you get to do more writing a Marvel comic story than you do a DC story, in my opinion. Because of the fact that it's, like, so subjective. Like, you'll notice that people feud with Marvel, like, constantly. Talent goes in and out, right? But at DC, people stay at DC for years and years and years, and they're happy there. There's a reason for that. I think that DC genuinely treats their writers and their talent better. But Marvel has more money, so they can kind of push people around a little bit more. That's like conjecture. I don't actually know. But if I had to guess, that's what I would guess. Like, if you ever hear, like, about Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, right? People my generation hate, like, those TV shows. But the reason that people want to work for them is because it's a good place to work. Like, same thing for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. People love working on that show, so they'll come back and they'll do it season after season, even if they could get paid more somewhere else doing something else, just because they like the way that they're treated. Like, that does a lot for people. I don't know where I was going with that. I just thought that was all kind of a little bit interesting. There we go.
Nice. Okay, what next?
Do not make me do another one of
Looks like
these
some
stupid
impedance
mini
in this
games.
neurosensor circuit.
Oh my fucking god. On Spider-Man, on the PS4 version, it just let you skip them. Out of all the things I hope don't come back for the next game, I hope it's these. Like, no one wants to play these little Candy Crush ass mini games in like a console game. There we go.
Finished. Signal to noise is out of whack. A new signal processor should reduce lag.
I didn't even try. I didn't even look at the numbers. I just picked the first ones I saw.
I got it, Doc. 2.8 milliseconds. Good work, Peter.
Hey, what's happening? It's good to see you. I appreciate you coming out to the stream. Yes, I am winning, actually. I'm frustrated because I hate those fucking mini games, but I am winning. And I gotta watch my language. I think I cursed too much last stream because I got hit with a demonetization. Not for like copyrighted content, but for content. Like what you're saying, what you're doing. My last stream. That's never happened to me on any video. And it's one of those things that if YouTube like knows you're doing it, they'll start looking for it. So I don't want my videos to get demonetized, so gonna have to watch my language a little bit. Can't quite be a sailor. Speaking of sailors, I've been watching the One Piece live action adaptation, and I fucking love it. I wish that like more comic book shows would be like that, like tonally, like with how campy it is, but how serious it takes everything. Like it's a really, really good show. And I'm not that much of an anime guy at all. Like I like Serial Experiments Lane, Cowboy Bebop,
Call that unbelievable.
Death Note, like really normie Attack on Titan tier animes, right? Like nothing that's really that special.
Do you need some help?
But I like the One Piece live action show a lot. I've never seen the anime, never read the manga, not really interested in trying either. But just like the show is fucking good.
Doctor, what's going on?
It's become that.
You know what else is good that I've been watching? Fiona and Cake.
My doctors
I didn't
call it a
expect it, but
degenerative
Fiona and Cake
neurological
is
disorder.
basically Adventure Time,
Probably
but
caused by
WandaVision.
overexposure to toxic
Like
chemicals
WandaVision for
by
Adventure Time. It's
reckless
so
use.
fucking good. I
Sorry,
didn't expect
is
to
there
like
anything
fall
I
in
can
love
do?
with it the way
Sorry,
I
there
have,
are.
but it's really good. It makes me want to
The
go back
worst
and
part
rewatch all
is
of Adventure
it
Time.
only affects the muscles. The mind continues to work, but it can no longer do. You're the only one who knows, Peter. I'd like to keep it that way.
Octavius said,
course.
Elon, hook me up with that Neuralink.
If you'd like to seek a position with more of a future,
I came here to work for you because of what you've got up here. And that's not going anywhere. So neither am I.
Best horror film I've seen? Ooh, that's a tough one. Like, my favorite franchise is Friday the 13th. My favorite movie is Scream. My favorite, like, best horror film I've seen, the scariest, Paranormal Activity, Witch, but there's so many fucking good horror movies. What was the one I watched recently that really impressed? Hereditary. Hereditary's good. But, like, it's not scary at all until, like, the last 20 fucking minutes of the movie. Like, you get one jump scare early on, and, but yeah.
Gallium silk array to make it work. Even then, odds of injury are
But I do like horror movies a lot. I need to watch more of them than I do or have. Like, I always say that horror movies are just, or horror villains, horror stories, they're just super villains. Like, horror movie villains are just super villains in a world that doesn't have superheroes.
Careful. An intracranial implant could make things even worse. Even alter his personality. We need to proceed carefully.
Proceed carefully? Dude, he's asking you to, like,
Doc,
do an
I'm
illegal
sorry,
science
Ed
experiment.
just texted.
Like, you're not supposed to do that. That's like, ethics is the first thing they teach you in, like, scientist school, isn't it?
Thanks.
I'm pretty sure there is a Hank Hill mod skin, actually. I think I've seen that. If not, I'm sure someone will make it eventually. Like, that's the thing about memes. Like, Shrek is in every video game because, you know, it's a meme. You can get internet points off of recording something so people make it. You can get internet points off of making it so people make it.
I wouldn't do that. Silver Sable made it clear you were
Memes
not
always
welcome.
make it into the, like, games. Like, CJ from San Andreas is in, like, every video game ever. Like, he's a mod for this game.
I'll be in the neighborhood, but not
Snoop
too close,
Dogg, you know,
just in case.
very memey stuff always ends up, you know, getting modded. And, like, that's the reason that I modded the, half of the NPCs, or most of the NPCs, to be, like, Among Us models. It's just because it's funny. It's funny to run around in Spider-Man. Like, one is my character, and two with just these Among Us lumps chilling everywhere. And everyone acting like it's completely normal.
Folks, I have to once again defend myself against the spurious claims from McDonald's Mac Gargan, aka the Scorpion. Yes, as I fully disclosed, I bankrolled the experiment that gave him superior strength, speed, and that unsightly cyborg tail. The idea was to create an anti-Spider-Man who is not a threat and stops menaces. I had no idea he was crazy. Do you think his resume said psycho with a poisoning fetish? His lawsuit.
Who do you think the most iconic horror villains would be to go against the Justice League? The best one, the one that would be the most interesting to watch, would be, what's his name? Freddy Krueger. I don't know why I blanked on Freddy's last name. But, like, imagine Freddy Krueger getting a monster squad together with, like, Freddy and Jason and, I don't know, like, that's the thing with horror movie villains. Some of them could cross over, like, Freddy, Jason, and Chucky would work. But Freddy, Jason, and, like, Leatherface would not work. Because Leatherface, Scream, those are very, like, reality-adjacent horror movies. Like, you have to have, like, mystical characters. So, like, the dude from Hellraiser, Pinhead, you would have Pinhead, Chucky, Jason, and Freddy, right? But to tip things a little bit in the Justice League's favor, you have Ash from Evil Dead teaming up with, like, Batman and Deadman to help, like, stop things. So I think Freddy would somehow, like, take over or possess the Justice League minus Batman, and then Batman, Zatanna, Deadman, basically Justice League Dark, would team up with Ash to, like, stop the evil Justice League and Freddy. Like, that's how I think that would work. What's happening, Amazing Webhead? I appreciate you dropping into the stream. I think replacing all of the Silver Sable agents with Stormtroopers was, like, one of the best decisions I've made in terms of, like, mods. Like, that might be one of my favorite mods I put in this. Oh yeah, just in case you guys didn't know, that guy right there, he's supposed to be Morbius. I kind of wonder if that's going to come back around in the second game. I know I mentioned that earlier, but I really do think it will.
Welcome aboard, Doctor.
Get off me! We got this!
Yeah, sure you do. Yuri, I'm in pursuit of Martin Lee. I think he's got Dr. Michaels and the Devil's Breath.
Copy that. More units coming your way.
He took Michaels alive, so that's good.
Probably so we can force him to make more Devil's Breath.
I have to stop that.
Did I just swing off
Hey,
of
whatever.
something that wasn't there? I'm too fast, it's breaking the game. Or am I supposed... Okay, I was supposed to do that. I wasn't supposed to, like, land on it. I like how they made it so you can have combat on these vehicles. Like, this is a really cool scene in, like, the context of the game and, like, the game world. I really hope that we see more stuff like it in Spider-Man 2.
We have authorization for deadly force. There will be no further warning.
Whoa, whoa, there's a biological weapon in there!
All units, open fire.
Whoa, why is everyone shooting rockets all of a sudden?
Spider-Man, get clear. You are interfering in this operation.
Sorry, but I'm not on board with Operation Missiles in Manhattan. Need to clear the guys in the trucks before I go after Lee.
Target lost. Reacquire.
He's coming. He's coming, and he will destroy all sinners.
See, that is exactly what I'm talking about when I say, like, the Among Us skins are, like, the perfect mod for this. Like, I just love game mods in general. They're fantastic. What character do I think deserves a game that doesn't have one yet? Daredevil. Daredevil would make for a great video game. I don't get, like, why we haven't gotten one, except for that he's he's not as popular.
What's your status? Have you apprehended?
Like, the reason that we're gonna end up getting Wolverine is because Wolverine has had, like, good selling video games before, like X2, Wolverine's Revenge, and then you have X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is, like, heralded as one of the best comic book video games of all fucking time. So, like, Wolverine getting a game makes a lot of sense to me. Wonder Woman is a little bit confusing. It makes sense to me on a different level that most people probably aren't thinking of. But it makes sense to me. Like, the Captain America Black Panther game makes sense to me too, why that's happening. Stuff like Midnight Suns, like, if it was a game like Spider-Man or Avengers, it would be the best video game ever, in my opinion. But I don't get into, like, it's the gameplay of it, right? So whatever superhero would get a video game, I would want it to be something like Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Hulk Ultimate Destruction, Arkham, or even Avengers, but like a good version of Avengers. Like, I'd love to see another Hulk game. And then there are superheroes that I don't really want to see a video game for. Like, I don't want to see a Captain America game, I don't want to see a Thor game. I do want to see a Hulk game, but... Am I supposed to be going? Oh, here.
And Norman wanted to use him. A futile gesture in the end. And where was Norman during all this?
A Venom game would be really fun to me. Like, I'd kill to see an Insomniac Venom game instead of Spider-Man 3 after Spider-Man 2. or as
He
like
must be exiled.
a side game,
No
kind of like
trace of
Miles
his
Morales,
purpose
in
returned.
between Spider-Man 2 and
Norman
3.
hides
I think that's kind of
behind his
likely.
mask of lies. I will break it apart and drag him into the light. Put on the mask. Become one of us.
Welcome to Earth 2177 Super Swim Teams universe. LOL.
Your strength
Accurate.
takes, but no thanks. One way or the other, you will join me.
Uh-oh.
All the souls you've lost, the innocent victims you couldn't save.
Martin, their blood is on your hands!
You can stop Osborn. You have so much strength. I can give you will. Their bodies filled the gutters, and you did nothing.
I can't save everyone!
What's one life? A simple trade. One life for a city of souls. You defend
Which supervillain do I think would be most frightening in reality?
This isn't real.
That's a hard one.
Show me your true strength.
Honestly, Scarlet Witch would be terrifying if she's like full supervillain mode, right? Like she's already a little bit scary even in like Age of Ultron. Really, any supervillain that okay, I know which villain is most terrifying. Zimnu. Zimnu from the Hulk. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I mentioned him briefly in my in like Immortal Hulk video. But Zimnu can like brainwash people, so he makes everyone think that he was the Avengers, he was Hulk, he was Wolverine, he was Spider-Man. So people that remember being saved by Daredevil, they remember they were saved by Zimnu. People remember the X-Men stopping the Centennials. People remember the Avengers stopping the Kree-Skrull War. Well, after what's his name, Zimnu has his way with them. They think that Zimnu did all that stuff instead. And then, so the Hulk has to basically stop Zimnu. But the whole thing that's freaky about Zimnu is that his name was originally Zimnu, Zimnu the something Hulk, right? But Zimnu had the name Hulk before Hulk had the name Hulk. And Zimnu is a Hulk bad guy now. But Zimnu existed 3 years before Hulk was ever created. He was a monster, like, horror villain from the Marvel, like, sci-fi horror days that ended up getting turned into a Spider-Man villain. Or into a Hulk villain, I mean, not Spider-Man villain, but he got turned into a Hulk villain. But he was the original Hulk. He had the name Hulk before Hulk had the name Hulk. I think that is, like, insanely interesting. Because, yeah, Zimnu is kind of terrifying. Like, the idea of, like, you know the Rick and Morty episode with the, like, parasites that infect their mind? Like, the first Mr. Poopy Butthole episode where they think he's one of the parasites? That is scary. That's terrifying to me. Like, stuff like vampires, zombies, werewolves, it doesn't do much for me. But stuff like tulpas and thought forms, that is so scary to me. Like, the idea of, like, sentient thoughts come to life that possess people. Like, that is creepy. Like, because that's the stuff that, on the surface, it sounds weird, it sounds crazy, but when you really think about it, and the problem is that you have to think about it. Like, vampires, aliens, it's like, if you think about aliens, if you're afraid of aliens, well, if, you know, you rationalize it to yourself, faster than light travel is so unrealistic that it would take ages and ages and ages. Like, sentient life would never reach us if it does exist. Like, that's the rational conclusion. But you can talk yourself out of being afraid of aliens or vampires. You can't talk yourself out of being afraid of ideas. That probably just sounds so fucking insane. Chalk that up on the Swimspiracy
I'm flying
board.
pretty close to blind. Ought to look for towers to activate.
Yeah, I heard about the like, it was like a clips cut together of Venom and Spider-Man 3.
Pretty well, huh?
But they do stuff like that all the time. That's one of those things where it's like the right hand isn't communicating with the left hand. So you get like Sony Latin America, Sony Canada, and they have different social media teams than Sony USA or Sony Japan, like the companies that actually like make these decisions. So they'll end up cutting something together thinking it looks cool, and then Sony USA is like, hey, you can't do that. We have XYZ in the actors' contracts, and normally the actors wouldn't find out about it. They wouldn't know, they wouldn't care if they're doing it in like Latin America. They don't care if it's somewhere overseas. But if it's in America and Americans are finding out about it, then their lawyers can find out about it. Their lawyers might see it on social media. Their producers might see it on social media. And if you're in violation of a contract, it's even a contract from like 2007, that can mean like legal repercussions. So that's one of the reasons that like that was up, they put it up, they took it down. I don't think it means we're gonna see like a Venomverse movie anytime soon. I think it's just the right hand not communicating with the left hand, and the left hand getting a little bit too ambitious with its clickbait.
It's been his obsession for decades. The project breaks every state and federal regulation on the books, but he doesn't care.
If the city finds out, he can kiss re-election goodbye.
Never mind re-election. He'd be tried in The Hague for war crimes.
Not to like dash your hopes or anything.
Aren't you just as culpable as Norman?
Like, it would be neat to see multiple Venoms in a movie. I think that's coming one day, but not anytime soon. One of the rumors I saw that I thought was really interesting, that I liked a lot, was that Sony wants their own in-game. They want to cross over the animated Spider-Verse movies with the Raimi Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland and Craven and Venom. They want to make their own Spider-Man in-game of just Spider-Man characters. And I'm kind of down for that. I think that'd be neat. I think it'd be cool. But the villain they want to use for it is Null. And with what we saw in the Venom 2 after credits and in the No Way Home after credits, I guess, Venom is like multiversally aware and is connected to like some kind of multiversal hive mind. And that's how the Venom symbiote knew Spider-Man, even though Spider-Man doesn't exist yet in the Venom universe. And the reason I say yet is because one of the rumors for Venom is that Venom is going to be about Eddie tries to go and kill Peter Parker as a child, and then he can't bring himself to do it. He can't make himself do it.
Breath is gone. I should call
And then instead he ends up like accidentally being the catalyst that gives Peter Parker as a child powers. That was like a leak that might not have been true at all, but it was one of those things. It sounded just crazy enough that I'd be like, oh, okay, I can see them doing that.
Standish said the demons are looking for something at GCT. But what could they possibly need here? Should probably call Peter and let him know what I'm doing. Actually, scratch that. He'd probably just tell me to go home and chain myself to my laptop. I'll just check things out quick and let him know what I find.
Forgot what it was.
Tickets can be purchased at any of the self-serve kiosks found throughout the terminal.
Oscorp's Revolutionary Medical Evacuation Drone, or MED, offers immediate emergency assistance, even in the most...
That's just a goblin glider.
Please make certain that children are supervised at all times.
From paper cuts to gunshot wounds, Oscorp's patented nanotechnology encrypts the body's healing rate from 1,000 times. We're not just saving pulmonary medics.
Okay, I clicked all the buttons. Are you gonna make me click all of the buttons? Do I have to actually pay attention to them? Trigger the next event. I would like to progress in the game, please.
There's more stuff back there.
This Gaia microbe dispersal
Okay, was this what I was supposed to look for? Okay, yeah, it was.
microbes into the atmosphere, and in turn, leaves our
Because that's what drops the devil's breath.
than when man first walked the earth.
Mr. Lee.
This will be easier for everyone if you remain calm and do as I say.
Police! Over here! No!
Spider-Man 2000 all over again. Doc Ock kidnapping Black Cat.
Mayor Osborne's office.
I would like to speak to Mayor Osborne,
Who's calling?
the man he is looking for.
What do you want?
I want you at Grand Central Terminal in 30 minutes. By yourself.
Honestly, I really wish that we could see a Black Cat in a Spider-Man movie. Like, that is like my main hope for future Spider-Man movies. I want to see Venom and Black Cat. Venom, Black Cat, and Green Goblin. That is such a basic bitch answer. But like, that's what I want. That's what I want to see. You know, the heart wants what the heart wants.
MJ, I'm on my way. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Just hurry.
Going as fast as I can. What are you doing at GCT?
I'll explain later. Listen, Lee's going to release the Devil's Breath.
You gotta get out of there.
He's not gonna do it until Norman Osborn gets here.
Wait, this must have been Lee's plan all along. Make Norman responsible by forcing him to release the Devil's Breath himself.
Sort of makes sense, in a twisted, psychotic way.
Okay, I'm here. Coming into the terminal now. Anything I should be on the lookout for?
I really hope this doesn't do the thing where it like messes up. Okay, there it goes.
Guess he's prepared for you.
Don't worry, I'm in the ventilation.
I had mods on earlier, and because I had mods on, it like messed up some of the events that like trigger for the next sequences and all. Find an entry. There? Great. Oh, up there.
Southwest corner.
On my way.
I'm sorry, y'all, but there is literally no way I can pose this camera that won't, like, just show off Black Cat's ass.
If I get any closer,
Literally, any angle I put it. I'm sorry. I apologize.
The tablet I'm looking at? That controls the drone.
That was not my intent with this mod.
If you can distract them and not get shot.
It is a little funny, though.
Okay, I'm ready.
Incoming.
什么？谁敢的？
Come on, take the tablet. Tablet, please.
Okay, move.
Did it count? Okay, I had to hit it on my keyboard. I couldn't hit it on the controller for some reason.
Wait!
MJ, what are you doing?
Let's all just relax. Listen, I'm a reporter.
It looks
I
like
have
the
a direct
Among Us
line
guy
to
was
Mayor
holding a
Osborn.
gun at
I
her.
can help make sure he arrives on time.
How?
First, let him go.
李先生，这记者说他知道怎么找到奥斯喷。遵命。
It'd be neat if we could play as Black Cat in the next game.
李先生马上就到。
I guess Black Cat doesn't have walking animation, so it just plays her running real slow. You know, this was the only, like, out of the Miles missions and the MJ missions, this was the only one I didn't really mind.
You did it.
Good job. Now let's get you out of here.
What about the Devil's Breath?
I'll come back for it.
No. We're partners, remember?
Can we argue later?
If we don't help those people, they could die.
So could you. I can't let that happen.
No. No, I got myself into this. I'm getting myself out.
What do you mean you got yourself into this? I don't like this. There's too many of them.
Then let's start taking them out.
Nope, 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 nope. God damn it.
They're still too close. Wait!
Okay, let's try it again. Second verse, same as the first.
I don't like this. There's too many of them.
Then let's start taking them out. Quietly.
那有可能是老鼠。不过
They're still too close. Wait!
Fuck.
I don't like this. There's too many of them.
Then let's start taking them out. Quietly.
那有可能是老鼠。
That did it. Grab him.
啊？哪来的？
Take him.
The way that you can, like, signal Spider-Man to take down enemies, I wish you could have done that in the other MJ and Miles missions.
Break up that group.
I'm gonna try and separate them.
等等，好像有动静。
Now.
肯定不是我的。
Take him out. Do it.
“那有可能是老鼠。不过，啊？哪来的？
Take him.
MJ, did you know Lee would be here?
Not exactly.
What do you mean?
I thought something might happen, but not like this.
Why didn't you tell me? I thought we were partners.
Hey, partners trust each other, Peter.
What do you mean? I trust you?
Yeah, when I'm sitting at home behind a laptop.
Oh, come on.
Can we please get back to saving the city here?
“费斯科的手下已经绝望了，正该这样。” 枪只不过去确认一下，我才是武器。
Do it.
From paper cuts to gunshot wounds, Oscorp's patented nanotechnology can increase the body's healing rate by 1,000 times. We're not just saving you money, we're saving lives.
“那个记者在哪里？”
他就在这儿附近，我们很快就可以抓到他。
Gotta get past him.
I'm ready.
无人机还戒备着吗？
Oh my god.
我们也会找到他。
如果他逃掉了，
First time that they've noticed. Is it gonna get me stuck in this loop?
Past him.
他就在这儿。
Oh my god.
抓到他。
Gotta get past him.
他就在这儿附近。
It might just keep doing this on account of...
Gotta get past him.
Yeah, I can like glitch it at the very beginning. Dang, I'm not gonna be able to click. Jesus.
Wait! Gotta get past him. Wait!
Okay, so in the PS4 game, it just lets you skip if you, or it gives you the option to skip. I'm gonna try quitting to the main menu and then loading back into the checkpoint. You think we'll see Eddie in the next game? His hatred for Spider-Man post-credits? Oh my god, it's literally right when I load in. Yeah, it doesn't let me move the character at all. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Y'all, be patient with me for just a second. I've got my Steam Deck. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it on my Steam Deck and I'm gonna progress it forward just past that checkpoint and then save it, and then it should cloud save it back to my PC. I would like to see Eddie in the next game though, honestly. That would be pretty neat. What I'm gonna do in the meantime is I'm gonna play a preview of the next video that's gonna come out, so check that out real quick. Are mobile games real games?
Do you guys not have phones? Yeah.
Comic book mobile games are releasing at a rate that drastically outpaces their console counterpart. They're cheaper to make, they make more money, and there are more and more of them released every year. So what exactly does that mean for their console counterparts? We've already seen trends for mobile games trickling their way into games like Avengers and Injustice 2. Stuff like loot boxes, pay-to-win mechanics, $20 skins, and keep in mind that Injustice 2 is over half a decade old now. It seems like all that stuff is just this new dystopian normal. So does that mean that the short little preview of the mobile games video that I was talking about earlier, that's going to be the second video you see. The first video you see next week is actually going to be this one. The initial pitch of an Avengers game created by the developers of the Tomb Raider remakes was exciting. The Tomb Raider reboot game had been such an amazing action platformer dungeon crawler type game. In the same way that Ratchet & Clank and Sunset Overdrive proved why Insomniac was perfect for Spider-Man, I thought that Tomb Raider was proof that we'd get a really solid superhero game from Crystal Dynamics. But I was so wrong. For a long time, it was a running joke on comic Twitter that the game was never coming.
After a million years since that preview, then what feels like no time at all since that demo.
Because as far as 2 years after it was announced, we still hadn't seen anything from it.
Dad went to 7-Eleven to get scratchers. I guess he won because that was 6 years ago.
No gameplay, no trailer, no announcements, just no news at all. And if you followed games as long as I have, you know that that's never a good sign. It shows a complete lack of faith in the product from the developer and the publisher. We've got to give some context to what was going on at Marvel Comics when the game was in development, as well as what was going on in the game industry in general. So let's flash back to 2017. Avengers was announced in January of 2017, and Marvel was in the middle of trying to write the X-Men out of existence. Now, why is that relevant to an Avengers video? Because at the time, Marvel was trying to use the Inhumans to replace the X-Men. Marvel was shoving the Inhumans into every project they could to try and make the idea of the Inhumans being the new X-Men stick. They showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they tried to kill all the X-Men in a crossover comic. They even got their own show, which had its first episode filmed in IMAX and premiered in theaters for some reason. Marvel pushed the Inhumans hard, but out of all the Inhuman characters, the most popular was Miss Marvel. The push for Inhumans between 2014 and 2018 seems to be a big part of why they're so prominent in the game. It's brand synergy. But in 2019, Disney bought 20th Century Fox, who had the rights to all the X-Men characters. Characters who are still drastically more popular than the Inhumans. The X-Men characters are so much more popular that the MCU iteration of Ms. Marvel has been foreshadowed as being a mutant instead of an Inhuman like her comic book and video game counterparts. So by the time the game launched in 2020, all of that effort to push the Inhumans was null and moot. The corporate overlords had already decided to abandon that idea. But by that point, the game had already been in development for at least 3 years. So there really wasn't much they could do to change things by the time the game launched. Knowing all of that makes the final product feel so much more synthetic and corporate than it already is. But honestly, I think that it could have been worse. So here's my swim theory on that. Remember the Star Wars Battlefront 2 fiasco? No? I'll sum it up for you. Battlefront 1 had a ton of microtransactions and got raked through the coals for it, but it made so much money that they doubled down on it in Battlefront 2. And doubling down on it blew up in everyone's faces. Battlefront 2 was the worst kind of game in terms of microtransactions and loot boxes. Don't believe me? We'll take it from these YouTubers instead.
The Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot box fiasco is no doubt one of the biggest gaming controversies of all time.
Because companies are constantly trying to find the most effective way to monetize their games without directly raising the price.
So a company could find itself asking, how can we get people to keep spending money in our games, even after they've gotten what they want, without creating more stuff?
Put in these dumbass loot boxes.
So the long and short of it is this. While prices on nearly everything else have gone up due to inflation, the retail cost of video games has stayed the same since the 1990s. But even though video games are still $60 for us, they've become more and more expensive to develop. But the era of mobile gaming introduced the game industry to a whole new method of monetization.
What if we create a system where players can make smaller purchases but without any limit on how many? Let's reward players paying real money with blatant advantages over those cheap bastards who won't give us money. I've got you beat, Chad. Let's do all that, but in a slot machine.
The in-game purchases within Battlefront 2 are in many cases pay to win and are implemented so strongly into the game that they have become an integral part of the upgrading and leveling process.
Battlefront 2 is very black and white about this. You either have the star cards that make you win, or you have nothing and you suck dick.
The loot box is designed to remove the element of choice from your purchasing decision, instead rewarding you with a random item.
These items are not guaranteed. They are open in the same manner one would with the slot machines in Vegas.
Here, they have turned unlocks way the fuck down in the hopes that people would just get frustrated and buy their upgrades with real money.
It's an unfortunate mix of necessity and greed that brought about Battlefront 2's monetization situation. If you were doing a cost-benefit analysis on making a video game, then you would find that it costs more money to create and maintain a multiplayer game, but there's also a lot more potential to monetize a multiplayer experience in ways that you just can't monetize a single-player game. It's a higher risk for the publisher, but that also means a much higher reward. Are you getting how this relates to Avengers yet?
In reality, EA probably set targets for a games-as-a-service system with goals for player retention and player spending that they were looking to achieve.
The game was designed to make the grind a non-fun experience in the hopes that the average consumer, one that paid $60 for the game, will eventually cave and pull out their credit card.
They would then hire and assign engagement designers to come up with a system that works for the game and has the best chance at maximizing profitability.
EA will look at how pissed consumers are over microtransactions and not really that not. But when you have this being so egregiously done on a property as big as Star Wars, it becomes a larger story. This caused multiple news outlet stories on the backlash EA was receiving.
Pay-to-win system pissed people off so bad that...
Let's get back to Spider-Man and see if we can get Spider-Man working. But yeah, that video should be out next Friday. So confused because it said 45% on my Steam Deck and 45% the last time I saved it. Okay, yeah, this is the right part.
Okay, what do you see?
Oh, okay. Looks like the blue is connected to the battery, and yellow to a fan. Red one has a little exclamation mark.
Okay, you'll want to detach the wires from the battery first. Trace the wires to the other end and unplug them from there.
Okay, unplug the wires from the battery. Okay, Pull the first wire.
Now the second one.
No!
Ah, shit. Okay, so pay attention. Noted.
Okay, what do you see?
Oh, okay. Looks like the blue is connected to the battery, and yellow to a fan. Red one has a little exclamation mark.
Okay, you'll want to detach the wires from the battery first. Trace the wires to the other end and unplug them from there.
Okay, unplug the wires from the battery. No!
God damn it, okay. That's not the wire to unplug. Noted. For whatever reason, it's really hard to do this on controller. I might have to do this on mouse.
Okay, what do you see?
Oh,
I get the feeling this is supposed to be like a lot.
Looks
Yeah,
like
it's
the
supposed to be a lot
blue
more
is connected
exact.
to the battery, and yellow to a fan. Red one has a little exclamation mark.
Okay, you'll want to detach.
Okay, pull the first wire.
One blue,
Now the second one.
two blue. There we go.
The timer just changed to 30 seconds.
It's a collapsing circuit.
What comes next? The fan?
Yes, then the last wire, but you have to hurry.
And
Okay, now the red one. Got it.
You did it. Wow.
Yeah.
great
Now let's get these people out of
success.
here. I could use a little Spidey help. You ready?
Right. I'll clear a path.
Try to do it quietly.
Will do.
不能有丝毫犹豫。北门安全。看看
Nap time.
什么鬼？
Gotta be careful or the hostages will get hurt. Sleep it off. Why is Lee so hell-bent on terrorizing New York?
They just all gonna funnel up here? I can like pick them off one by one? It's convenient if that's the case.
Literally didn't see that coming.
李先生在站台，我们的撤退路线清理完毕。
Shit.
路灯可怜，我去看看。逮到你了，蜘蛛侠！好看，我没用。
Okay, MJ, time to go.
Copy that. Everyone, follow me!
别拐门子的，拿下蜘蛛侠！
MJ, did you make it out?
Yeah, everyone's safe.
Good job.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah?
You're done in there? We
I
should
really
talk.
gotta.
Yeah,
I gotta
we
replace the spider arm mod with something other than the lightsabers. I think the next one I'm gonna do, I got one that makes it Waluigi's arms with tennis rackets.
I'm on right now.
Oh my god, that guy's slick.
Okay, guys, trivia time. Did you know Grand Central has the largest basement in New York City? Crazy, right? You can fit half the Brooklyn Bridge down there. Ah, I agree. They sure don't make them like they used to. That's old school New York gumption for you. Anyway, I could talk trivia all day, but I gotta stop your wingnut of a boss from destroying the city. Time to wrap this up.
Let's see. In your honest opinion, if the current Spider-Man was good and not total trash.
To use the train. Can't let
I
him get
wanted
away.
to see Spider-Man and Black Cat date for a little while. I'm not gonna lie, I did want to see that. I thought that would have been good. I thought that would have been like more interesting than them dating for like 2 issues and then breaking up immediately. I do think that in game they are still setting up for Peter and MJ to get back together. Maybe not for another 4 or 5 years, but literally by the time they're together again in the movies, they'll be together again in the comics. But because MJ doesn't even know who he is in the movies, they're trying to like synergize with the movie. It's not working. It's not working, point blank. Like, Mary Jane is too popular of a character to not have around, not feature in one book or another book. Like, she'll sell titles, but because, you know, the movies, and, you know, Mary Jane's popular in the movies, so they're bringing her back there, too, even though it really doesn't make sense comparatively to where the story last ended off. But, you know, the flaws in comic book storytelling are showing in the movies, and they're showing in the comic books. And Spider-Man and Mary Jane are like the perfect example of that. Like, there's reasons that the stories are written and told the way they're being told. I'm not saying they're good reasons. I'm not saying I agree with them, but there is like logic to it. Like, people try to act like they're writing bad Spider-Man stories on purpose, but that's not the case at all. It's like they're getting mandates from these executives, from like Disney is like this, and, you know, editorial is like that. So the writer doesn't get to do what the writer wants to do that would probably result in a pretty good story. Like, I think Nick Spencer really did want to end his run by retconning No Way Home. I mean, not No Way Home, but by retconning whatchamacallit. But by retconning Brand New Day. That's what I meant to say. Shit. Sorry, I can't chew gum and think at the same time. But then he couldn't do that, so they just retconned Sins Past instead. Which they were probably going to do anyway at the same time with the same story, but I don't know. Like, there are aspects of the current Spider-Man run I like. Like, I like Good Guy Osborn, like, taking the role of, like, Tony Stark for MCU Peter. Like, you know, they have Norman Osborn doing that for 616 Peter. I don't mind that at all. I think it's, like, kind of neat. It is what it is. But, like, I don't know. I feel like people should give the run more of a chance than they do. And because people didn't give it a chance, it makes the writers write stories that kind of, like, they want to prove a point to the audience and be like, hey, you're wrong. And so instead of writing the story they want to write, they write a story to prove a point, which makes the writing worse. So it's just this Ouroboros. It's this self-eating loop of, like, fans hating the stories and, you know, not letting the writers do what they want to do, and the writers getting frustrated and writing something to, like, prove the fans wrong, and then writing a shittier story as a result. And it all stems, what it all stems from is, like, editorial mandates from Disney telling them this, from the editors telling them that. Like, I don't think Zeb Wells or Nick Spencer or even Dan Slott are bad writers by any measurable degree, but I do think that they get forced into stupid ideas by people that are, like, in positions of power, that are like, hey, we know you want to write this, but we'd appreciate it if you wrote this. If you write this, then maybe we'll give you a job doing this. You know? Stuff like that. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of Spider-Man stuff that rubs me the wrong way, because it's like the opposite problem of Batman. With Batman, the character has had nothing but good stories for, like, since the mid-2000s, essentially, right? But Spider-Man's the opposite. He's had nothing but bad stories. So it's the difference between letting your writers do whatever the fuck they want, or forcing your writers to do exactly what you think they should do. And, like, Spider-Man stories versus Batman stories from the mid-2000s to the modern day is, like, the perfect example of what I'm talking about. I hope that kind of, like, makes sense, but it probably just sounds confusing as fuck. If I was making a video, I would figure out a much more compelling way to word that. I've always liked how they showed Spider-Man texting on a phone while he's swinging. Oh shit! I just realized something. Because of my mobile games video, I can edit me swinging around on the phone into the mobile games video, and it'll look like, without the audio, it'll look like I'm playing like games on my phone.
Not okay.
This is perfect.
What is there to figure out?
I agree. Comics should let the movies be separate.
Oh, you think? Great.
You did it. Lee's off to the raft. The Devil's Breath is safe with Sable. How do you feel?
How do I feel? How much time do you have?
Not much. Heroics for you means paperwork for me. But I just wanted to say, good job.
Thanks, Yuri. I kinda needed that. All this time with Lee, I've been ignoring the city. Time to get back to being a friendly neighborhood Spidey.
Attention units. Masked terrorists have planted a bomb. Any officers near Madison, proceed to the crime scene.
Hey, that hole in the ground stopped glitching out. That's neat.
It's all over the news. Another battle between Spider-Man and these demon-masked gunmen threatening the lives of New York.
All right. Time to get that arming key. Bad time to get sweaty palms.
God, it makes you do them randomly throughout the city. I'm not going to keep complaining about it every time they come up, but I want you to know that I want to. There we go. Oh, I have this whole thing back.
Great. Disarmed.
See, I wouldn't call Spider-Man and Black Cat my OTP. Like, I think that Spider-Man and MJ are my OTP. But I do like Spider-Man and Black Cat as a relationship. Like, Spider-Man and MJ are like my 616 OTP. I wouldn't mind if, say, Ultimate Spider-Man had ended up with Kitty Pryde. I think that would have been interesting. Or if, like, Spider-Man the animated... Well, Spider-Man the animated series probably should have always ended up with... What? Did I forget to... I thought I did the thing.
Okay, I think things are sort of
Guess
under
not.
control.
Oops.
Maybe I should put in some Peter Parker time at the lab.
But yeah, like, there should be an alternate universe where Peter ends up with MJ. Like, that's the thing about fiction. That's the thing about storytelling. Like, you get to pick your own ending. Like, so you have 50, 60 years of Archie comic books, and the main question is Archie gonna end up with Betty? Or is Archie gonna end up with Veronica? And you know what they do? You know how they answer that question? There are two versions of that story. One called Archie Loves Betty and another called Archie Loves Veronica. And in the version where he gets with Betty, he, like, you know, lives a happy, normal civilian life, right? Like, I think he joins the military or something, I forget. In the one where he marries Veronica, he ends up being a politician, ends up living this super mega star lifestyle, and then he gets assassinated when he runs for president. Like, that's literally how the fucking story ends. No, I don't want to do the fucking side mission, fuck that. But yeah, that's literally how the story fucking ends, is he gets assassinated. But, like, it's, you have two different versions of the ending, like a good ending and a bad ending. And I'm not saying that Veronica should be the bad ending, but what I am saying is that, like, you give fans options, and fans appreciate that. But, like, if you lock Spider-Man into being with Mary Jane as OTP, as the end game, then you remove the options. The writers get to do less with the story. There's less for the fans to speculate on. But the thing is fans aren't speculating on whether or not they want Spider-Man to be with MJ. They're just saying, no, give us Spider-Man and MJ, you know? There's no speculation to be had. What's happening, Start Pool?
No one can take this away from
Yeah, exactly. I am 100% against the concept of canon events. Like, everyone watched Across the Spider-Verse and they're like, oh, canon events. Batman's parents getting killed is a canon event. It has to happen. But, like, and then they sit there and they pretend that they fucking understood that movie. Like, no, the point of, like, the whole point of Miles rebelling against that is that, no, it doesn't have to happen. Canon events, like, aren't set. They won't destroy everything. What destroyed everything was the Spot. Like, that wasn't on, like, I don't know. I'm very frustrated with the way that people chose to interpret canon events. Because, like, that, I don't think it meant what fans have taken it to mean. I could be wrong about that. That might have been the interpretation. I don't know, but... But that being said, it's a funny meme. Like, it's definitely a funny meme when you see someone like, oh, what happened? It's Walter White's canon event. You know, and then they show, like, a Breaking Bad clip. That's funny. You know, I like the meme of it, but I don't think it's something that should be taken seriously as, like, a concept in the lore. Target volt. There we go. People need to watch your video on Does Canon Matter? Yeah, exactly. I talk about that. I talk about that in my Batman, both of my Batman videos, really. But I want that to be a running theme on the channel. That you'll definitely see more of it, more and more and more as I start to make videos. Because it's all going to end up building to a video on what I call the hyper crisis, which is like a weird fucking fan theory that stems from an idea for a Grant Morrison comic that never actually got made. It'll all make sense, but I'm literally adding in like little Easter eggs that like aren't gonna make sense at all and are just gonna seem like weird and like I'm fucking crazy. But it'll make sense later on, once you see the videos in the future. Like in the Zurin R video, there's the clip of, what's his name? Of David Lynch, and it's like, in the future, but also in the past. Like that joke will make sense, but it might not make sense for like 2 or 3 more years. It's just gonna sound batshit insane until then. But that's okay. That's like the fun of it. That's mystery box storytelling. Alright, what am I missing? Oh, I get it. I get what I'm saying.
Come on.
There we go. Have I played the Amazing Spider-Man 2 mobile game? No. But it's one of the few mobile games that I've actually heard really good things about. I've heard it's, like, pretty decent.
This is bad. Doctor? Doctor, I found a potential problem.
Everything has problems if you look hard enough. But fortune favors the bold.
Fortune favors the bold. I heard that on a crypto ad and my dad lost money.
What we've done.
Otto, the neural web is
Oh my god, I need to make an edit of that. Of Otto saying fortune favors the bold, and then put it over that Tom Brady crypto ad. That'd be funny.
For the first time in my life, I don't feel like a failure. I feel like me.
Otto, you're not a failure. But this could permanently damage your mind. Please.
Right. Right.
Don't worry. We're close.
I'll keep at it. Work out some bugs. Go. Go.
You sure you're okay?
Yes.
He ain't, though. Next time you see him, man. Next
Thank
time you see him, it ain't gonna go so hot. But you know what? He tried.
For everything.
He tried to be there for him. That's what counts. See, I'm positive that you're right about that amazing webhead. About Miguel causing incursions. So the stuff we're seeing in Spider-Verse, they aren't canon events that aren't happening wrong. They're like incursions. So like what's happening in Spider-Verse and what's happening in the MCU and Multiverse of Madness, it's all kind of a part of the same story.
You have no idea what you're in for.
You know, honestly, I think we could see animated characters in Secret Wars. I don't think it's that big of a leap. I don't think we will, but we could.
I should check on Miles.
Hey, Pete.
Hi, Miles. I just wanted to see how you're doing with the news about Lee. Look, if you didn't want to work there anymore, May and I would understand.
I did want to quit when I heard. Then I remember what my dad used to say. A hero is just a guy who doesn't give up.
That's true, assuming he's doing the right thing. I got you that job. I'd hate for you to keep doing it if you think it's wrong.
Oh, the people here. Nothing Martin Lee did is their fault. They need help and I'm helping them. I think Dad will want me to stay. I think he'd be proud.
I know he would. And Miles, I'm proud of you too. Anytime you want to talk, just call.
Thanks, Pete. Gotta go. May just gave me a list of all the supplies to get. Alright, later.
Spider-Man be so good when you don't have someone on Twitter yelling in your ear about how you can't do loop-de-loops when you're web swinging.
Nothing like an RPG to wake you up. Congratulations, Captain.
Ooh, sorry about that.
Peter.
Didn't mean to spoil anything for you.
I'm getting by.
I don't know how I feel about you running this place all by yourself.
These people need help. If I lose a few hours of sleep, so be it.
So have you heard from Mr. Lee since?
No. But the Martin I know couldn't have done that.
Whatever's become of him, that's not the one I want to remember. So, how are things with MJ?
Oh, it's well, you know, she's it's complicated.
Honesty. That's what got me and Ben through the rough patches.
You guys had rough patches?
Oh, sure. Especially when we were your age. So, are you honest with her? Does she know the real you?
Hey, turn it up. I want to hear this.
A spokesperson for the police has confirmed that this
I love how Aunt May, like, she totally knew. She knew Peter was Spider-Man, and that's what she was asking him, without asking him.
Peter?
Captain Watanabe, leave a message.
Yuri, where are you? Call me when you get this. I just hope the Devil's Breath is still there. It's still secure. If the demons got to that truck, this just went from bad to catastrophic.
I know I said it before, and I say it every stream, but I can't get enough of just seeing my VTuber model swing around like that. It'll never stop being the coolest thing in the world to me. Like, it's hard as hell to mod Spider-Man PS4 on Steam Deck. Because, like, you're running Linux, and it's emulating Windows, and it's a whole thing. So to get any suit mod installed at all, it's like 10 more steps. That aren't complicated, but are frustrating. That being said, this is the only skin I have installed on my Steam Deck. Like, I literally play it even when I'm not on stream.
Whatever floats your cruise ship. Or doesn't. You've earned it.
I'm gonna get a lot of mileage out of it in future videos. I mentioned this earlier, but I clip every cutscene I see. That way I can use it in a future video, just kind of as B-roll or background footage. You know, just because it looks kind of neat, you know?
We have to hurry. Hop on.
What happened?
It was a coordinated attack. Must have been planned from the outside. Every cell block is breached.
Doing the Rikers movie.
We're minutes away from every prisoner and Rikers walking right up 5th Avenue.
What about the raft?
Should be okay. It's a Supermax facility. Better security and a separate power grid.
Good. What about the Devil's Breath?
Sable's handling it.
Do you trust them?
Do I have a choice?
Uh-oh. Should've worn your seatbelt.
I love that drop from the helicopter onto the car. Insomniac is really good at, like, choreographing the cutscenes.
I'm on it.
Attention all COs. Instant lockdown procedures. Timber rush. Take them. All inmates return to your cells. Repeat, return to your cells.
Damn it. They got into the armory.
Is that bad? That sounds bad.
It means some of the inmates are armed with rocket launchers.
Yeah, that's bad. I'm on it. You guys go back to your cells and behave. We can forget this ever happened. Kill you! Get the book!
I think it's inevitable that we see a Sinister Six movie. For whatever reason, Sony was like set on that with the Amazing Spider-Man, we halfway got it, you know, with what we saw in No Way Home. I think if it hadn't been for the pandemic, we would have gotten Mysterio and Vulture, and I think we would have had like a full Sinister Six. We probably wouldn't have seen Sandman, but you know, I think things would have gone differently without the pandemic happening. But that is to say, you know, all things considered, we got the best movie we could have gotten. I'm not upset with what we got. I'm just saying, like, you know, it could have been a little bit better. Could have gone better had conditions allowed for that. I bet we'll see the Sinister Six in, like, the third Spider-Man game. I'm really, like, impressed with the pitch of Spider-Man 2. So, you've got symbiote Peter training Miles, so Peter starts going bad, starts being weird, and it gives Miles a reason to develop a stronger sense of independence, and it creates a rift between him and Peter. And then you have the Lizard, who is like geneticist, blah blah blah, and everything going on with Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn's disease, that introduces the Venom symbiote into things. But then you have Kraven, and Kraven is the perfect thing to tie everything together. So you've got this like nature versus science thing going on with the symbiote and the alien, and it's like all these predators and prey thing, like on a thematic level, right? It works. It just works. That's the only way I know how to put it. The whole pitch of Spider-Man 2 it's great. Like, I can't imagine a better combination of villains and characters and like plot lines to put into a video game. Like, it's literally the exact like Spider-Man I would want to see, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm so excited for it. Like, I'm more excited for it than I was Across the Spider-Verse, or like, but you know, I think another element of that is like, you know, these new movies come out and they're only new once when you're a kid, right? But I would spend like 6, 7, 8 hours a day playing Spider-Man games, you know, when I was a kid. And that's why I don't really cover Spider-Man comics as much as I cover Spider-Man video games on my channel. Because I guess I just have a deeper connection to the video games and comics than I do like the movies or anything.
Right, I'm on it.
Like, I played the Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1 Raimi video games way more than I ever watched the movies.
Gotta take them all out.
Man, Spider-Man 3 vibes. I'm thinking Ultimate Spider-Man vibes. But you know, for a while, everything was symbiotes, right? We got Spider-Man 3, Web of Shadows, and Ultimate Spider-Man. All three of those games pretty much in a row. So, you know, all we got was symbiotes for a while. So it's been a little while since we had a symbiote game. And honestly, with the way that Marvel works Spider-Man, Marvel basically works Spider-Man so that Venom and Spider-Man are separate franchises now. You know, in the movies and the comic books, like, Spider-Man will show up for something like Absolute Carnage, but they treat it like a crossover. They don't treat Carnage like it's a Spider-Man book. They treat it like it's a Venom book. They don't treat Venom like a, you know, a Spider-Man book. They treat it like it's a Venom book. It's basically its own line of books and its own sub-series within, like, you know, all the books that are released. Like, you know, you have your X-Men line, your Avengers line, you have your Spider-Man line, and your Venom line is separate now. So to see them really embrace Venom as being a Spider-Man character, that's another element of Spider-Man 2 that really excites me, because we don't see it often, and honestly, I think it might be one of the last times we actually see it.
It was. Let's go. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks.
love the optimism. But in my experience, when it looks bad, it's usually worse. Look out!
Okay, so I talk about this in the Avengers game, and I've been getting shit for it on Twitter. But look how much better that classic Electro costume works than what we got in the actual game when it came out. It looks so much better. It works so much better.
You okay?
Yeah.
Welcome to the party, just in time for the fire.
Looks like we made parole, boys.
Electro? Why is he letting everyone out?
I'll head for the main control center and see how bad the situation is.
Got it. I'll go join the party.
Did they ever explain what, like, the blue and red thugs that were in Rikers were? Like, lore-wise, if they were, like, Inhumans or what? I've always been kind of curious about that. It seems kind of random. Like, it makes sense in a Marvel universe, because, like, we see the Avengers Tower, we see the Wakandan Embassy, we know these characters exist, right? But we just don't really see them or hear about them very often. Like, you would think someone would mention, like, yeah, sorry about that. Last week I got caught up with Captain America fighting the leader, you know? But we don't hear characters talk about stuff like that, and, you know, it's the reason they do it is intentional. That way, they don't have, like, if they make an Avengers game or an Iron Man game, they don't have to restrict their lore to an Easter egg that someone mentioned in a Spider-Man game, you know? But it's just frustrating, because it's supposed to be a Marvel universe, but it feels like it's just a Spider-Man universe. Like, we see this stuff, or we hear about this stuff, but we never actually see it. Or, you know, it's like we see it, but we never actually hear about it. But you know what I mean. Like, throw me a bone. Have Human Torch talk to Spider-Man, and, like, have them team up for, like, 20 minutes in the next game. Just a single mission. Like he was in Spider-Man 2000, like as a cameo.
Hey, what's your status?
Me? Just trapped in a prison with every criminal I put away.
This is too good to be true.
Scorpion, can you hold on?
You know I had to do the Spider-Man 2000 Insomniac mod.
Lost you for a second there. You okay?
Not really. Electro, Rhino, and now Scorpion are all on the loose. What's going on in the rest of the prison?
Camera system's almost up. I'll give you a sit rep soon.
Okay, I'll keep tracking Electro.
I'll kill you.
Gonna feel this. Start this.
Phew.
Whoa! Come on, Spider-Man. I thought this was a chase.
Nah, the Avengers game, I think the original intention, it was supposed to be originally, but they changed their minds later on after it turned out that that game kind of sucked.
If you tell me who you're working for, I'll go easy on you. Nobody ever takes me up on that offer.
Gotcha.
Vulture.
Long time no see. We're going to have so much fun.
Sorry, no time to talk.
Still with me, huh?
Okay, I got the security cameras back online.
How's it look?
Well, it looks like the entire population of the raft has escaped, including Martin Lee. That makes 5 of your worst enemies that are now on the loose.
For a second there, I thought you were serious.
I am serious. I have to go. Some of them are heading into the city.
This is nuts.
do you like my new suit?
Dashing. Where'd you get it?
It's an exclusive club. Remember,
He said not to kill him.
good idea. In fact, we don't have to do this at all if you don't want to.
We definitely want to.
Such a well put together scene. And then the reveal at the end. Okay, and I know this is a spoiler, right? But then you think about it, right? And Doc Ock knew. Ock knew the whole time.
First and final warning. Stay out of our way.
He knew.
Each of you has a job to do. Your debts will be repaid when we're done. Go!
There he is!
All these years. All these lies. It's over, Norman. Time to give them the truth.
It's over, Norman. I have the high ground now. Yeah, I have a bunch of like weeaboo anime mods that change all the signs in New York City. Game crash? Okay, the game just crashed. Alright, y'all. I feel like that's a good place to end the stream on. I appreciate y'all coming out. Y'all do me a favor, like the video because it really helps stuff in the future. Like the stream. It helps stuff in the future. Thank you for Alec for the donation. For helping me put a little bit of money towards a PS5. So with all that being said, I've been Swim Team Captain 7 of Super Swim Team 7 for the YouTube channel Swim Reads Comics. That name is increasing longer and worse. But I appreciate y'all coming out and watching. I've been rambling too long. I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Oh, by the way, might stream tomorrow, might stream Monday. We'll see. But I definitely plan on streaming again sometime within the next few days or the next week at least. It'll probably be